Today I'm going to be making lasagna al forno. I guess that's how you say that. This is from the Golden Girls cookbook, and I have made a bunch from this cookbook in the past. So if you're interested, you could type in Tammy Dunn the Golden Girls, and those videos will hopefully come up. But we're going to be making the lasagna. We'll go over all the ingredients we'll need for the lasagna later. Because the first thing you have to do is to make the lasagna, you have to make the rich meat sauce first. So for the rich meat sauce, you will need 2 28-ounce cans of whole tomatoes. And so I just got the Kroger brand whole tomatoes. You need 3 tablespoons of olive oil. You need 1 medium onion chopped, which I have here. You need 3 medium to large garlic cloves. I'm using, we always use minced garlic. You can use cloves if you want. I'm using minced garlic, so I'm using 3 teaspoons of minced garlic. You need a ½ pound of ground beef plus a ½ pound of pork, or you can use 1 pound, a combination of the two. So this is a 1 pound combination of the two, pork and Angus beef ground blend. That is what I'm using. You need some salt, and you can use crushed red pepper if you want. That is optional. I do want to use it. So the first thing it says to do is pour the tomatoes and juice into a large bowl. Squish the tomatoes one by one in your hand until they are roughly crushed. I do not understand why you couldn't have just bought crushed tomatoes. That would have made things so much easier, but they did not want you to do that. So I'm going to put these in a bowl and I'm going to crush them. And then it also says heat the olive oil in a deep, heavy pan. So the olive oil, I can go ahead and pour that in this pan. And I'm going to heat that. You want to heat it on medium to low heat. And then you want to add the onion and garlic and stir it until it's softened. So while my oil is heating, I'm going to go ahead and pour the tomatoes into a large bowl like it said. And I will crush these up with my hands. Now I'm going to add my garlic and onion. Okay, we just want the onions to soften and the garlic to soften. We don't want it to brown. So now we're going to add our meat to this, and we're going to break it up, and it is going to cook through, but it is not going to brown. So we're going to just let it sit here, and we're going to cook it and stir it, and we're going to let all the liquid cook out of it, but it's not necessarily going to get brown. Okay, our meat has cooked through. It's not pink anymore, but it's not brown. So now you want to add some pepper, and that's just to taste. And we're going to add some salt. And then we're going to add our tomatoes. Now the directions say you want to bring this to a boil, and then once it starts to boil, you want to turn it down until it is just simmering. So I've had this on the stove for about an hour and a half. And I took a little taste of it, and it tastes really delicious. I am going to add a teaspoon of the crushed red pepper flakes. I'm only going to put a teaspoon because I don't want to overwhelm it. And it doesn't tell you how much to put. But I'm going to put this much and hope that hopefully it's still edible and it's not too hot. So while our meat sauce is still simmering, I can go ahead and show you what we're going to need to make the lasagna. You are going to need a box of lasagna noodles, which I can show you, just a box of noodles. Mine, it is a 1 pound box, but I'm missing a couple of noodles, but it's a mainly full box. I think there's, I don't know, there's probably 16 noodles. But what you need for the lasagna, you need a pound of whole milk mozzarella cheese, and that needs to be shredded. So I have 2 8-ounce packages here. We're going to use both of those. You need a 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese. You need a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, and I'm just showing you what I'm using. You can use a really fancy brand if you want to. I'm using the Kraft because we already had that in the refrigerator. You need 1/2 cup of finely grated Pecorino Romano, and that's what this looks like. And I'm just showing you the container again. It's Murray's brand. I've never bought that before, but it smells really good. And then you need a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh parsley. I didn't buy fresh parsley. So if you used parsley flakes, that is 1 tablespoon. So I have 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. And then here on the same little dish, I have 1 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. So we're gonna take the ingredients that I just showed you, minus the noodles, the lasagna noodles. We're gonna take these ingredients and we're gonna combine them together in this bowl. Put this in the refrigerator until we need it. I'm going to put a pot of water on the stove and let it start boiling. We're gonna add our lasagna noodles and we're gonna let those boil for 11 minutes. Okay, I kind of have a little assembly line going here. I have my sauce. I have my lasagna pan here. I got my cheese out of the fridge, and I have my noodles here. I boiled them. It took about 12 minutes, and then I put cold water in here, and so I'll show you how to do those in a minute. You do want to take like 1.5 cups of this cheese, and it says to reserve it for later, so I'm just gonna put about 1.5 cups over here to the side. Okay, and now they want you to ladle some of the sauce into your lasagna pan. So I have my oven on 375. I don't know if I said that or not. And they want you to put some of your sauce in the bottom of the pan like this. My noodles. I'm going to try to show you this. And the way that I do mine is I take them and I squeegee the water off of them like this. And then I'm going to lay a row onto my lasagna. So now we want to add some of our cheese on top of our noodles. And now we're going to add some sauce over the top of the cheese. And now we're gonna repeat. We're gonna put more noodles, more cheese, and more sauce. this is where you use your 1.5 cups that you reserved. I guess they wanted to make sure that you had plenty left to put over the top. So now I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil, and then we're going to let it bake at 375 for 45 minutes. Okay, it's been in for 45 minutes, so I'm going to I peeled it back, started it a little bit. I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to put it back in, and we need to let it brown. So here it is straight out of the oven. Once I uncovered it and I put it back in the oven, I set my timer for 15 minutes. And so it has been baking for an additional 15 minutes. So you're going to need to bake it for an hour total. Plus, we're going to leave it for another 15 minutes because it says to let it sit for 15 minutes before cutting. Because right now it is still bubbling. It is very, very hot. Says, picture it, Brooklyn, 1950. Sophia in a tiny Brooklyn kitchen, a pot of water coming to a boil, colander in place in the sink, and a bowl of cold water on the kitchen table. It must be lasagna day. Now, Sophia does what so many other cooks do, make lasagna with uncooked noodles and a slightly thinner sauce. So what they're talking about is, if you don't want to boil your noodles, you can make this, put the lasagna noodles raw in the pan and let them cook in the pan like that. A lot of people do. I've never done that. I always boil my noodles and make sure they're completely cooked before I put them in the lasagna. So that's how I made it. If you want to follow their directions, you can put them in there raw. I just never trust it.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, well, I have. It's just that I've had them like that. I've had lasagna cooked like that before, and there's special noodles that you can buy where they're not supposed to take as long to bake. But I have eaten lasagna like that, and it had a tougher texture to me. I didn't care for it, and so that's why I always boil my noodles first. So, all right. The sauce is thinner, though, I can tell you that, than what my lasagna. So my lasagna recipe is on the channel.
Yours looks more tomatoey, like a redder sauce.
Yes.
A good tomato flavor. Mm-hmm. It's got a little kick in it too.
Oh, does it?
Is that peppers?
I put
That's red chili flakes or something like that.
You could put crushed red pepper flakes.
Yeah.
It was optional. They don't tell you how much to add, so I added a teaspoon, just a teaspoon.
It's got a little kick to it. I mean, it's not bad. It does have a little burn.
I like the flavor of all the cheeses combined.
The cheese is the best part.
Yeah, and that, I mean, mainly for that whole pan, you're only using a pound of meat, so you're mainly eating cheese and noodles.
I like this.
I do too.
I mean, I think the way you make it is probably quicker and easier.
The way that I make it is quicker and easier. If you want to
But this is very good.
Look that up on the channel. Mine is quicker and easier, but this does have a really nice flavor. I do like the cheeses, like I said. I took some shortcuts for the garlic. I used, the minced garlic and the what was it? The parsley I didn't use fresh parsley.
Use the flakes.
But I used the parsley flakes. But I think this tastes really nice. It does take more time, definitely. You know, you're going to be in the kitchen for several hours. I've been in the kitchen for hours, yeah.
She has been.
Hours. And I've done dishes several times, and you know, so it does take longer. But I do think it's good. I think mine is just as good though. And mine's really quick and dirty. Mine's really easy.
I think your, this has a good flavor and stuff, but I think yours has a richer flavor. Because it's got all the tomato sauce in there that's really saucy. You know, really like a really good pasta sauce.
Right.
This sauce is more just tomato-y.
Tomato.
And you do get some garlic and onion and stuff in there, but it's more just tomato.
I do like this though.
I do like this too.
I really do.
Honestly, if you were to put this combination of cheese in your lasagna, it'd be even better.
I'm glad I didn't put any more than a teaspoon of the crushed red pepper.
Hot enough.
Because you do get a little bit of that kick. So if you don't want that, don't put it in at all.
It's kind of like eating a hot sausage in there. Like a
yes,
tiny sausage.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's as if you bought hot sausage instead of just regular sausage. But
or pork.
Or pork, yes. But I do like this. Would totally recommend it. Just know that you can take the shortcuts if you want, and I don't think it hurts anything.
Tastes good to me.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.